Morning breaks over the rain-damp town of Willow Creek. The diner sign flickers, half the letters dead, half stubbornly glowing. Inside, the smell of burnt toast mixes with fresh hope no one can quite name. Lena, 34, wipes down the counter with slow, practiced motions. Her eyes carry the quiet fatigue of someone who dreams with her eyes open, but never says it aloud. The bell above the door jingles. A man in his early 60s steps in, rain dripping from his coat, his expression unreadable. Lena greets him with the same gentle voice she offers everyone. "Coffee's hot. You can sit anywhere." He nods, taking a seat near the window, staring out at the gray morning like he's waiting for something to appear. As she pours his cup, she wonders silently, would you still help someone if you didn't know their story? The man studies her, a flicker of recognition or regret passing through his eyes. Neither speaks for a while, just the sound of rain, the hum of the fridge, and the quiet weight of two lives crossing at the right moment. The diner empties by noon. Lena counts the tips, her fingers brushing over the damp bill. The stranger left. It feels wrong, heavy somehow. She flips it over. A note scrawled in blue ink. For what you've forgotten to forgive yourself for. Her chest tightens. She looks out the window, hoping to see him. But the street is empty. The rain has stopped, but the air feels thick with meaning. At closing time, her coworker Sam, 42, jokes about the mystery millionaire. Lena forces a smile, but something inside her stirs. The words on the note echo in her mind. Sam laughs and says he'd never question a miracle, but Lena whispers that maybe miracles are questions, not answers. That night at home, Lena sits in a dim kitchen, staring at old photographs. Her late husband, her son before he left for college, her younger self smiling freely. She traces the handwriting on the note again, wondering how a stranger could know her pain. The next morning, Lena returns to the diner early, the note folded in her apron pocket. Something inside her feels lighter, not fixed, but mending. As she pours the first cup of coffee, she smiles without meaning to. Sometimes kindness doesn't just arrive. It remembers. The morning crowd drifts in. Truckers, nurses, a few regulars. Lena greets them with new softness, as if the note gave her permission to breathe again. She keeps glancing toward the window, half expecting the man to reappear. But the seat by the window stays empty. Sam notices her distraction and teases that she's fallen for a ghost. She laughs, but the sound carries sadness. She says quietly, "You ever feel like someone sees you before you see yourself?" Sam pauses, unsure how to answer. Outside, sunlight cuts through the mist. For the first time in months, Lena lets herself feel hope without guilt. During her break, Lena steps outside. Across the street, an old bookstore catches her eye, one she's never noticed before. Though it's clearly been there for decades, she walks in. The bell above the door chimes the same note as the diner's. The scent of dust and paper fills the air. Behind the counter, an older woman smiles knowingly. "You're looking for something that found you first." Lena freezes. "What do you mean?" The woman just nods toward a display of used journals. One has a folded receipt sticking out. From the diner. Dated the same day the man left the note. Lena opens the journal. Inside are entries written in the same handwriting as the note. They tell of loss. A man who left his family years ago after a tragedy he couldn't forgive himself for. One line stops her heart. "If I could buy forgiveness, I'd leave it with someone who reminds me what it looks like." She closes the journal, trembling. Could the man at the diner have written this? That evening, Lena and Sam close the diner together. She shows him the note and tells him about the journal. Sam listens quietly, his usual humor gone. He says maybe the man's story is a mirror. Maybe the note wasn't about the past, but the future. Lena stares at the reflection of the empty booth in the window. What if he was asking me to forgive someone else? Who? Sam asks. Her voice breaks slightly. Myself. After Sam leaves, Lena locks the doors. The diner hums with silence. She walks to the window seat, his seat, and places the note and journal there. She whispers, "Thank you." Outside, a single firefly drifts across the glass. Her eyes follow it upward, glowing faintly against the dark. The next morning, when she opens the diner, the journal is gone. But the folded bill has been replaced with another note. It reads, "Keep the change, the real kind." The next day, Lena drives to the edge of town. The road winds through mist and fading autumn leaves. She can't stop thinking about the second note. Keep the change, the real kind. She searches her memory for any connection to the man's face. Something about his eyes felt familiar, as if from a dream she once had but forgot. At a red light, she glances at the passenger seat. The first note lies there, folded neatly. Her reflection in the window looks older than she feels, but steadier. She whispers to herself, maybe forgiveness doesn't arrive, maybe it returns. She stops at a small gas station on the outskirts of town. The old attendant looks up and smiles warmly. "You're from the diner, aren't you? That gentleman came through again earlier, said he left something unfinished." Lena's heart skips. Where did he go? The attendant points toward a weathered church by the hillside. As she drives there, her hands tremble on the wheel. The church doors creak open. Inside, candles flicker, and dust floats like ghosts in sunlight. Lena walks slowly down the aisle. At the front pew sits the man, the same one from the diner. He turns as if he's been waiting for her. "I didn't mean to frighten you," he says softly. "I just wanted to leave something right this time." Lena's voice trembles. "Do I know you?" He nods, eyes glistening. "You knew my son." The air stills. He continues. "He was the driver that night. The one who hit your husband." Lena's breath catches. The room tilts. The memory she buried years ago rushes back. Flashing lights, sirens, a trembling hand signing a report. The man continues, voice breaking. "My son didn't survive the guilt. I wanted to come sooner, but I couldn't face you. Until I saw you in that diner. I thought maybe kindness could say what I never could." Lena steps closer, tears streaming down her face. She whispers, "You already did." He looks at her, eyes wet. "Then maybe we both can rest." They sit together in silence for a long time. No apologies, no speeches, just the sound of wind moving through the cracked windows. As they leave the church, Lena glances up at the sky. The clouds part slightly, sunlight spilling over the road back to town. In her hand, she holds the final note he gave her. It simply reads, "Thank you for seeing the good that grief tried to hide." She smiles, tears drying in the wind. For the first time in years, she doesn't feel broken. She feels open. A week passes. The town feels softer somehow, as if the world has exhaled. Lena stands outside the diner before opening, watching sunlight spill over the cracked sign. She thinks of the man, his son, and the heavy kindness that brought them both peace. For the first time, she isn't afraid to remember. Inside, she brews the first pot of coffee and whispers, "For all of us finding our way back." The smell fills the room, warm and familiar. A teenager enters the diner. Shy, nervous, counting change in his palm. His clothes are worn, his eyes tired but kind. Lena recognizes the look of someone carrying more than they can name. She serves him breakfast and waves off the cost. He hesitates, confused. She smiles. "Someone once told me to keep the change, the real kind." The boy's lips tremble into a smile. Later, Sam returns from his delivery route and sees Lena laughing with the customers. He leans on the counter, smiling, Haven't seen you laugh like that in years, he says. Lena shrugs playfully. Guess. I finally remembered what living feels like. Sam tilts his head. And what's that? She looks around, at the people, the light, the hum of the jukebox, and says softly, forgiving what didn't go as planned. As the evening crowd clears, Lena pins something new to the diner's notice board, a small handwritten card that reads, if you ever feel unseen, your coffee's on the house. Signed, someone who knows. Sam reads it, then quietly adds his own note beneath. Pay it forward, not because they deserve it, but because you can. They share a quiet smile. That night, Lena locks up and steps outside. The street is still. Crickets hum. She looks at the empty road where the stranger once walked and smiles softly. She whispers, you kept your promise. A breeze carries the scent of rain and coffee. Somewhere in the distance, thunder murmurs like a heartbeat. Lena turns off the lights, and for the first time, the open sign flickers fully alive. All letters glowing. The next week, the diner hums with gentle life. Strangers talk to strangers. Laughter fills corners that once held silence. Lena watches as a woman quietly pays for a soldier's meal, and the soldier in turn leaves money under a plate for a young mother. No one speaks about it. They simply keep it going. Sam grins. You realize you started something, right? Lena shakes her head, smiling. I didn't start it. I just stopped stopping it. Later that afternoon, a little girl enters holding a jar of coins. She says she wants to buy coffee for someone sad. Lena kneels and accepts the jar, eyes shining. That's the most beautiful purchase I've ever seen. She places a sticky note on the jar, reading, for anyone who needs to remember, good still exists. The girl beams, and for a second, the whole diner feels lighter. As evening falls, Lena finds herself serving an elderly man traveling alone. His clothes are dusty, his eyes kind but weary. They talk for hours about roads, regrets, and second chances. When he leaves, he tucks a folded note under his plate. Later, Lena reads it. Someone once reminded me that forgiveness is contagious. Consider yourself caught. She laughs quietly, a tear slipping free. That night, after closing, Lena and Sam hang a new chalkboard near the door. At the top it reads, acts of kindness. No receipts needed. People begin to write messages, thank yous, apologies, small miracles. The board fills quickly. Lena stands back, reading each note, realizing every story now threads back to that one quiet morning and a stranger's folded bill. Weeks later, Lena closes up for the night. She turns off the lights, steps outside, and pauses. Across the street, the bookstore window glows faintly. The same old woman waves from inside, a knowing smile on her face. Lena waves back, heart full. She looks up at the stars and whispers, kindness doesn't end. It just changes hands. The wind carries her words into the quiet night. The town sleeps softer because one man cared enough to tip more than money. He tipped balance back into a weary world. 5 years later, the diner looks brighter now. Repainted walls, new booths, the same heart. A framed note hangs above the counter. Keep the change, the real kind. Lena moves slower these days, but her smile hasn't dimmed. Sam's hair has gone gray at the edges. The morning crowd is larger. Travelers, locals, people who heard about the Kindness Diner. A teenage girl asks for a photo with Lena. She laughs and says, I'm not famous. The kindness is. Lena keeps a small notebook now, filled with stories customers share about the acts they've witnessed. She calls it the Ledger of Light. A man from out of town reads it and says softly, you turned a tip into a town. Lena closes the notebook and says, no, people just remembered how to care. Outside the diner, a new mural decorates the brick wall, painted by local kids. It shows a hand passing a cup of coffee to another, light spilling from it like sunrise. Lena watches them paint, her eyes misting. When one of the kids asks who the man in the mural is, she says gently, "Someone who remembered what it means to be human." Later that evening, the diner holds its first kindness supper. Free meals for anyone who walks in. Old jazz hums from the jukebox. The tables are full. Sam raises his cup, smiling. To strangers who aren't strangers anymore. Lena laughs softly, echoing. And to kindness that never asks who deserves it. Everyone clinks their glasses. The room glows. After everyone leaves, Lena walks outside. The night air is cool, stars bright. She looks through the window at the empty booths, the reflection of the mural glowing behind her. She takes out the old note, edges faded, and whispers, "You started this." A soft breeze stirs, carrying the scent of coffee and rain. Just like that first morning. Her eyes close, peaceful. Inside, the neon sign flickers once more, all letters shining bright. 10 more years pass. The diner still stands, its sign now fully repaired, glowing bright even in the rain. Lena's photograph hangs by the counter, her smile captured mid-laugh, eyes kind. Sam runs the place now. His hair has silvered completely. He pours a cup of coffee and sets it at the window booth. Her booth, every morning before opening. He murmurs, "For you, boss." Still hot. Outside, the town hums. Softer, kinder. A young woman enters, soaked from the rain, carrying a backpack and exhaustion. She tells Sam she's passing through, just looking for somewhere warm. He gestures to the booth. First cup's always free, especially for travelers. She smiles faintly. "That's kind of you." He chuckles. "Not my rule. Just keeping the change." After finishing her coffee, she opens her bag to pay. Sam waves it off, pointing to the framed note on the wall. "Keep the change. The real kind." She reads it carefully, tracing the faded ink. "Who wrote that?" she asks. Sam smiles. "Someone who learned forgiveness the hard way, and taught the rest of us how to live softer." She nods slowly. "Maybe that's what I needed to hear." Before she leaves, the young woman slips a folded bill beneath her cup, and beside it, a small photograph. When Sam picks it up, he freezes. It's Lena, younger, maybe mid-30s, standing outside the diner, smiling in the same rain. On the back, in new handwriting, are the words, "For the next one who needs reminding." Sam looks toward the window, tears welling, and whispers, "You never left, did you?" Outside, the rain eases. The young woman walks down the road, her hood pulled low. Inside, the coffee steams beside the photo of Lena, and sunlight breaks through the clouds. The camera lingers on the note one last time. Narration drifts softly, almost like a prayer. Sometimes kindness doesn't end with the person who gives it. It travels, unseen, until it finds the next soul ready to begin again. Fade out. The neon sign hums, open, glowing brighter than ever.